So good afternoon and welcome to this webinar on Italian technologies for the agro-industry sector in Lebanon. The purpose of this webinar is to present to Italian companies the opportunities that Lebanon offers to the agro-industry sector with the aim of creating industrial partnerships, including production partnerships, not limited to the Lebanese market, but extending to the Middle East, the Gulf, and the African countries. We have more than 80 companies, Italian companies, following the webinar streaming, and welcome again. And we have a quite rich program with 3 sessions and many contributions from the most important Lebanese companies and institutions. We will go through the presentation of the Lebanese agro-industry sector. We'll see how technology and innovation are used to strengthen the potentiality of the sector, and we will listen to some of the most representative Lebanese companies of the agri-food sector. This webinar will be followed by a workshop with B2B meetings that will take place on January 26th on our B2B platform Smart 365. So let's start right away with the opening session. Her Excellency, the Ambassador of Italy in Lebanon, Nicoletta Bouvardiere, please, the floor is yours.
Buongiorno and thank you very much, Francesca. I would like also to thank Director Longo for organizing today's event, and really a special thanks to all participants for attending this first webinar on the agro-industry sector in Lebanon. Allow me to thank especially our Lebanese partners and the presidents of the Association of the Lebanese Industrials and of the Investment Development Authority for cooperating to the organization of this online meeting, as well as the many Lebanese and Italian companies that are connected today. As Francesca Zadro already anticipated, this seminar is a first step in a journey that will continue through a specialized workshop and B2B meetings online on January 26th. We are all aware that Lebanon is undergoing a very difficult economic and financial crisis, which is having severe repercussions on the traditionally vibrant trade relations between our 2 countries. Italy has long been among the top 3 trading bilateral partners of Lebanon worldwide. Despite the general contraction of trade flows in recent years, Italy remains a major trade partner even today. But the Lebanese importers are encountering increasing difficulties to maintaining the incoming flows of goods into the country. Yet, we also believe that in every crisis, there are opportunities that can be seized and have to be seized. First of all, our ambition is to develop our bilateral relations from an economic model purely based on trade exchanges to one founded on industrial partnerships among Italian and Lebanese companies. Secondly, the crisis of the financial and banking sectors, which so far represented the backbone of the Lebanese economy, highlighted the need for increased attention to the development of productive sectors, beginning with those where Lebanon has a major comparative advantage. To this regard, the most significant potential for development undoubtedly lies in the agro-industrial sector. Lebanon benefits with favorable agricultural and climatic conditions, a fertile land, rich water sources, and a strategic geographical position at the crossroads of commercial routes among Europe, the Middle East, the Gulf, and Africa. Yet, the agricultural sector contributes to merely 5% of the GDP in Lebanon, while only 25% of its enterprises produce for commercial purposes, export to foreign markets, and are integrated into the food processing production chain. The agro-industrial sector can therefore benefit a lot from crucial improvements on the commercialization of products, export-oriented strategies, and technological innovation. To this end, we believe that Italian companies can be the ideal partner for any Lebanese producers who aims at increasing production, maximizing efficiency, introducing state-of-the-art technology, and developing a more productive and sustainable business model. Establishing a partnership with an Italian company can allow a Lebanese agro-industrialist to produce more, to produce better, to produce cleaner, and to produce greener. On the other hand, for Lebanese companies, industrial partnerships with their Lebanese counterparts can mean access to new markets, diversification of exports, teaming up with a vibrant and innovation-prone business partner. Through this webinar, we can hear the experience of those Lebanese entrepreneurs whose vision and whose connections to the Italian market have allowed to outstand in the national agro-industrial sector. It is on their experience that we want to build, and we aim at building, a stronger and more sustainable economic partnership between our countries. So I'm looking forward to follow the developments of this initiative. Thank you very much, and let's enjoy the discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador. Thank you, Ambassador. Roberto Longo, Director General of the Italian Trade Agency, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Francesca. And first of all, I would say thank you very much to the Ambassador Bombardiere for her presence today, to join us and to work hand in hand with the Lebanese colleagues, Mr. Fadi Gemayel from the Association of Lebanese Industrialists and the HIDAL, that is the Investment Development Authority or agency of the Lebanese government, because I think it is time to reinforce the cooperation between Italy and Lebanon in one of the most strategic sector of the Italian export towards Lebanon, not only, but it's very important because from our point of view, the agro-food industry chain is one of the most important sector of our economy, and this is integral part of our promotional strategy between the Italian Trade Agency and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, international cooperation towards Lebanon. It means that today we will have the occasion to introduce, to give a picture to what is possible to do in cooperation with Lebanese friends. And next January, we will have another opportunity to share with you and the companies the opportunities of cooperation in this important sector. I would stress this because normally the foreign companies, they know very well that Italy is well known all over the world for fashion, for jewelry, for furniture, for food, the products of our food, wine, etc. But often the foreign company, they don't know that mostly the most important sector that Italy exports all over the world are the mechanical sectors and the mechanical products. Let me say metalworking machineries, food stuff machineries, packaging machineries, all related to this important cradle of capabilities of our country. But I would stress today, because this webinar is dedicated to the food stuff, for the machinery related to the food stuff and agriculture, I would say that Italy is #1 in the world for all the sectors related from the harvesting machineries till the machineries related to products that that are served to produce products, food, or the products related to produce milk, derivated to the milk products, etc. This is very, very important. The people, they don't know exactly that Italy is overcoming Germany to the total export of these old products all over the world, because we have this full integrated chain from the harvesting machineries till the products related to the processing of foods and other beverages, transformation of products. This is very important, and I think that you are aware of it, but we have to enlarge the number of Italian companies that can export in Lebanon, and also Italian companies that can be part of your national agriculture strategy. Because I think that within this framework, Italian companies, the majority of them, this is, I think, this, you know very well, these are small and medium enterprises. Most of them are micro companies, but they are suitable to enter deeply in what are the opportunities that every country has for them. It means that if they can develop a certain sector, they can be able to serve that country, to utilize the cooperation with that country. And this is important also that during this difficult juncture that you are living, that we are living during this time, I think that knowing which are the opportunities, and today we will have the opportunities to know better which are the fields where the Italian companies can cope with the Lebanese company, with Lebanese opportunities, which are the facilities that the Lebanese government can give to the Italian companies, to the joint venture, because I think that the majority of the Italian companies are small and medium companies, as I said, and the majority of them, they would have partnership, they would share joint venture. It's quite difficult for them to come in a country that is not too far from Italy, but in any case is far from their factories to establish a new company. They are able and capable to supply machineries, to be part of research and development projects, but also in cooperation with you, with your governments. I think that, and with support of the Italian Trade Agency and the embassy in Beirut, I think that we will succeed. The last sentence that I would say is related to the importance of the Italian exhibition centers and exhibition like EIMA for the agricultural machineries that will be held in next year in October, or MacFruit that is related to the sector harvesting machineries or treatment of products. And I think that all together, I think that we can establish new ways and new opportunities of cooperating. And I hope that next time, when will be the January session, we will have the opportunity to have hundreds of Italian companies interested to export and cooperate with the Lebanese. And from the other side, we will have authorities, companies, and potential importers of Italian products and technologies. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Director, and thank you both for giving us a broader perspective on the Lebanese economy and on the Italian capacity in the agri-food integrated chain. Now let's go more into details on the Lebanese markets. We begin the first session dedicated to the presentation of the agro-industry sector. Mazen Suaid, Chairman of the Investment Development Authority of Lebanon, will present how investment in the Lebanese agro-industry could turn challenges into opportunities. Then Mr. Fadi Gemayel, President of the Association of Lebanese Industrialists and President of Gemayel Frères, will present how the collaboration between Italian and Lebanese companies can be beneficial for both parties. Mr. Suaid, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mrs. Zadro, and thank you for this opportunity. I see lots of familiar faces and friends with us today. A special thank you to Her Excellency Ambassador Bombardieri, whose fate has decided that she comes to Lebanon at the most difficult and challenging of times. But maybe fate happens for a reason, because it is at these times that we need our really best friends and true believers in Lebanon and in Italian-Lebanese relationships, such as herself. I would like also to, say hello to, because I'm not seeing them because of COVID, to my fellow Lebanese heroes, I call them, because each industrialist who is still who is still surviving, still producing in Lebanon under this perfect storm of 2020, really the perfect storm from you know, the economic collapse to the COVID to the explosion of August 4th. I don't think any country had to sustain what we had sustained in 2020. Any Lebanese who still believe in Lebanon and is still producing label made in Lebanon is truly a hero. And it delights me today to be with them on this panel. As you said, my friend, how to turn challenges into opportunities. You know, I worked at the IMF for a very long time in Washington, D.C. I'm a macroeconomist by training, and we always used to say a crisis is too good an opportunity to miss, you know, and it's only those who see opportunities in crisis will reap their benefits. A crisis is too good opportunity to miss because very simply it is in a crisis where the phenomenon of mispricing of risk happens. When risk is properly priced, there are no opportunities. You know, if you're buying something for 50,000 that it's worth 50,000, there is no money to be made there. But you're buying something that is worth 50,000 for 10,000 because there is a panic or there is certain crisis or there is certain mispricing. This is where you make money. Let me give you a small example. Over the last year, in 8 months, in 2020, the Lebanese exchange rate went from 1,500 to 8,500. This is more than 5 times. Does this mean that us Lebanese, we have become 5 times poorer? Does this mean that we are less capable by 5 times to compete? You know, today, the macroeconomic indicators are totally out of line with the real fundamentals of the economy. Yes, there are lots of imbalances. There are lots of mistakes that have been done over decades by our policymakers that failed to do reforms when these reforms were needed the most. But today, Lebanon is being punished way above what its real fundamentals are. And I think this is where the opportunities rises. And this is where the line of someone like Warren Buffett, who says, be brave when everybody is being fearful, and be fearful when everybody is being brave, becomes it makes lots of sense. So I hope that our Italian companies hearing me today will be brave and will see the opportunity in investing in Lebanon, and especially in the agro-food business, which is one of our flagships, because this is where Mediterranean quality of produce meet Lebanese value added in branding and design to really create special products that can be exported. But this basically lack in reforms has also made our businesses too sank in their comfort zone. And I think a crisis is an opportunity for them to really get out of the comfort zone, get out of their focus on the domestic market and start focusing on the export market. For a very long time, for a Lebanese producer, it was actually the same whether he sold locally or whether or sold outside, because someone who would sell for an item like chips, for example, for 6,000 lira, these 6,000 lira he used to turn into $4 very easily in Lebanon and get his input. Today he cannot do this, right? Today the producer who sells for 6,000 that is less than $1 cannot sustain. But at the same time, he cannot increase his prices domestically because the purchasing power of the Lebanese has not increased, it actually has sunk. So today, exporting is a matter of survival for these industrialists. If they cannot export, they cannot survive, they cannot fund raw material, they cannot continue. So, and as this is what I've been preaching to all to my Lebanese fellow policymakers, today we need to reorient our economy to export. If we cannot do this, we will not survive. You know, if we don't export, we do not survive. And this is a good opportunity for our industrialists to upgrade their capabilities, you know, get the standardization, the quality control that it is needed to export. And this is where potential partnership with Italian companies become very important. The Italian, which are very close to Lebanon in terms of culture, in terms of heritage, for a very long time they were our largest trading partner. For a very long time, actually, the Lebanese lira used to fluctuate almost 1-to-1 with the Italian lira. I remember that when I was studying economics, international financial markets. So it makes lots of sense for this synergy to be created. I think there is great potential partnership for Italian companies to come into Lebanon, and I think this is a great opportunity also for Lebanese. And this is something we're working on at IDAL for two things. For a very long time, our private sector has been very highly leveraged. Too little capital and too much loan. This is time to reorient that. This is time for injecting fresh equity into our industries, into our private sector. And this is something that IDAL is launching very soon, just waiting for this COVID thing to recede and hopefully for a new government to match the business matchmaking platform in which we showcase very good companies, lots of industrialists, lots of agro that are in need of capital injection in order, because they have a very good business plan, they have a very good proposition, but they need partners, they need equity injections in order to be able to increase their operation and export. So they need this capital, this new capital culture, this new equity culture. And also we need to reorient our operation to abroad, because that's what we've been. This is our DNA. We've been Phoenicians, for thousands of years. This is what we do best, trading. And the lack of reforms from the government for a very long time made us not fulfill that and focus way too much on domestic markets, which, as I said, is no longer possible. These were my introductory remarks. Let me go very quickly through a presentation that my excellent staff at IDAL has prepared just to set the dialogue around the right, basically, pillars, and give you some data that hopefully would whet the appetite of our fellow Italian viewers. Yeah. Can you see the presentation?
In the meantime, I just want to say to all the companies that are listening to us now, we are collecting the questions. We already have some questions, and at the end of the 3 sessions, we will pose the questions to the speakers. So if you can, when you pose the question, if you want a speaker to reply, please tell us who you are posing the question to.
Okay, so can you all see the presentation?
Yes.
Yes. So Lebanese agro-food sector is actually the largest industrial subsector in Lebanon, contributing around 37% of the sector value added. With this contribution, we've seen significant growth, with a compound annual growth rate of 10.6% from 2010 till 2017 in the agro-food industry in Lebanon. As a result, many key international agro-food companies have set up their businesses in Lebanon to serve the local and regional markets. The sector benefits from a strong country brand awareness and a growing regional markets for Lebanese agro products. And the two leaders seems to be the prepared confectionery and the beverages. Arab, GCC, and European countries top the list of target consumers of Lebanese agro-food products. The sector benefits from a wealth of technical support at various stages of the value chain. And the sector employs a well-trained labor force that benefits from top-notch university programs and very high rankings. Lebanese agro products benefit from the country's membership in bilateral and multilateral agreements, facilitating market access. It equally benefits from various financial support schemes aimed at facilitating access to finance. And due to the increasing demand for Lebanese agro-food products, investment in the sectors have increased over the last 4 years, with processed food having the largest share in announced agro-food investments, accounting for 37%. Processed food meaning spices, chocolate, dried food, canned food, and jams. 52% of the enterprises are in the production of dairy products, preserved fruits and vegetables, and bakery products. And the diversification of the Lebanese agro-food sector results in a number of investment opportunities in key subsectors, which we would like to highlight: the olive and olive oil sector, the wine sector, the spices sector, the tahini and byproduct sector, the potato chip sector, the pastries and sweets, and the fruits and nuts. Of course, the detailed presentation will be provided to all participants through ETA. We will make it available to Mrs. Zadro. And I hope that these introductory remarks were enough to whet the appetite of our Italian counterparts to see, hopefully through this session, the great opportunities laying in the Lebanese agro-food sector. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Swade, for the detailed presentation and for giving us such an insight on how to take opportunities in such difficult times, especially how Italian companies can contribute to the success of the change in the Lebanese industry sector. Now, Mr. Fadi Jumayel, the floor is yours.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Excellency. Thank you, Mr. Longo. Thank you, Ms. Zadro, and for organizing this most important webinar, indeed, to show the opportunities around the Lebanese cooperation with Italy. As Excellency, you have said, indeed, there is so much to be done. We are trading a lot, but there are more economic opportunities laying ahead. And I hope that within the few minutes that I have, to convince you all of serious win-win opportunities around the agro industry in Lebanon. The agro industry, as has been said, is a very strong and promising sector, covering very broad numbers of items, from wines to jams to typical Lebanese products to chocolate to nuts. It's coffee. We have reached exports of around $520 million in 2018. It's one of the most active sectors, and for sure, it is a very promising one. The whole sector is very strong. Let me just also insist that the supply chain of the sector is also strong. I here just show you so you get the feel of the packaging that is available for our companies. This is important for boosting their image overseas. So the whole sector, being from the product to the packaging to how it is presented, it is all boosted with value-added features that make it well accepted and well looked for and in fashion around the world. I'd like also to add that it is not only the product that we export. It's not only hummus and tahini and wine, but also we have a few manufacturers of machinery. You can see a bit of the examples I'm showing you on the top. The one in the middle is where we have a specialty. It's a pita bread making machine. We have an expertise all over the world. If you look down at the corner in the left down, this is an automation plant supplied and made in Lebanon, conceived in Lebanon. The robot is by ABMP. Otherwise, this is supplied to Procter & Gamble all over this part of the world. So we have a very active industrial machinery production, helping us also in our production. The Lebanese industry is proud to be exporting, all in all, we are exporting around $3 billion. In 2011, we were reaching the numbers of 4.5, and due to the closure of the borders, we had to go down. But nevertheless, we are exporting to Europe and we are exporting to the USA, meaning that many products and most of our products, and particularly in the agro-food sector, are up to the international standards and specifications, allowing us to enter very proudly to the most demanding markets in the US and in Europe and in Canada and in Australia. We are not only exporting, this is another feature of the Lebanese in the agro-food, is that we are also producing. So if you look around the world, you see in the KSA, in Kuwait, in the Arab Emirates, in East Asia, in Syria, in Africa, you see companies, Lebanese companies producing agro-food products. There are many drivers. Some have been addressed, the committed industrialists, which are for sure, I thank His Excellency Dr. Swed for having called them heroes, because they really are. In Germany, they call the industrialists the champions. So our industrialists are really the champions of our economy, the hidden champions. They have become experts in crisis management, and we are also taking advantage of a strong base of professional youth with established universities, with sophisticated labs open for research. And we are building all our approach on value-added products built around design and innovation in general. And I would not forget that, as you know, Lebanese cuisine is a bit à la mode around the world. It is appreciated, it is sought and looked after, and the Lebanese diaspora is by itself also a strong driver and a strong force for potential opportunities. Opportunities in the agro-food have many aspects. We can talk about exports for sure, and I will mention what we can do. And also, I will not forget import substitution. But before I go into more details concerning import substitution, let me just remind you some realities of the agricultural sector in Lebanon. Lebanon, the land is a small land, but it's a diversified land. So from one part, we have the plains of Akkar and the coast, and the Bekaa Valley. The Bekaa Valley at one time was called the Silos of Roma. As you can see, it is a very fertile region between two chains of mountain, taking advantage of the snow with rich resources. So it's a very rich agricultural area. And there is another agriculture in Lebanon of which we are also very proud and which is not less important. It is the areas in the mountain, in the Lebanese mountains, where we are growing, where we could grow our fruits and dedicated products such as apples. And as you can see from these pictures, I've shown pictures from one region. One picture is in the summer and one is in the winter. You can see that these are apple growing regions. So you can see what kind of apples will get out of this geographic scenario with all this snow and all this typical and unique setting. So this is why we have, in a way, also some unique products that we have to address. Opportunities in import substitution, let me just remind everybody, we have imported around $20 billion in 2019. Of course, we need to be importing oil and cars till now, and many items. Nevertheless, 5 billions out of these 20 billions could easily be made in Lebanon. And we have identified a few areas when we can do. Of course, prepared foodstuff, as you can see from this table alone, is 1.5 billion opportunity for things that can be made in Lebanon. I just give you an example how much dairy products we are importing every year. It reaches around $300 million, although we have a very strong farming base which could be improved, and there are lots of opportunities around this. I'm giving it just an example. I'm trying to move fast. Exports, there are lots of opportunities and destinations. We have our traditional markets, our Lebanese diaspora, and of course, reaching out for the appetite for Lebanese products. Our diaspora is around, as a minimum, is around 14 million Lebanese around the world. If I look at the numbers, at how much they are importing, where they are, you can see that numbers, exports to these countries are very little. So there is room for us to doing much more. Also, there are additional challenges and maybe here also opportunities for cooperation with Italian companies, with Italian technology, as Mr. Longo has said. Yes, we can take advantage of Italy's know-how in the industrialization of traditional products. There are also strong possibilities in fine-tuning some traditional products. I'll give you the example of hummus. Hummus is a world market of over $2 billion, and we are not tapping it so far. So there is much to be done in the way we are presenting it, and here also we can take advantage of the new technology with our network and doing much more. On another hand, also we have to build on the concepts, as I've mentioned, of our typical zones for fruits, about the dénomination d'origine contrôlée and the AOC. And here Italy has a very strong experience in cooperative associations, and we can get a help because many of our products are not given the proper value added they deserve. Here, for example, I have shown the Val di Non apples, which you rightly market all over the world. Our apples could follow the same pattern. Furthermore, we can do a lot on the complementarity with your experience, and as you have mentioned that you have also from the harvest to the end product, there is much to be done in the complementarity between agriculture and industry, not to mention also developing medicinal and natural cosmetics. I will conclude by saying there are indeed win-win opportunities. Lebanon is not a final destination. Lebanon is a small country, but it is a platform to a world of opportunities. You can take advantage of committed, credible, and proven partners connected to the world. And as has been mentioned also, the new economic conditions where our lira has collapsed give us the possibility to improve our competitiveness. It has forced us to reduce our imports, and this gives more room for Lebanese production. Let me just conclude by saying Lebanese companies, the private sector is the heart of Lebanon, is the heart of the economy. Indeed, I'm very proud at the association of our champions. If you look at them, they have all confronted most difficult times, and they are still going on strongly. So and now is the time. Many of us have been bombed more than once and have come up again, like the phoenix, raising every time with being stronger and with more resolve and more determination and more opportunities. And Ali, as the association, is ready to assist any Italian company who would like to prospect any possibility. We are here with our ears open to show you around and to be of any assistance. So thank you all very much. Grazie, Excellency. Grazie a tutti. Spero veramente di poter avere convinto tutti che c'è opportunità attorno della nostra industria insieme. Grazie a tutti.
Grazie, Signor Gemayel, for the description of the industrial potentiality of Lebanon and the agri-food supply chain, and also for highlighting the advantages of the collaboration between Italian and Lebanese companies. Grazie anche per aver parlato in italiano. Let's move on to the second session dedicated to the technology and innovation. And we have three panelists. Rami Boujalde, Deputy General Manager of Veritech, will introduce us to the role of innovation in supporting the agri-food sector in Lebanon. Nadine Houri, Chief Operating Officer of Robinson Agri and Board President of Food, will present the agri-food sector in Lebanon from the perspective of a family business. Ahmad Shukr, founder of Agro Ecosystems Capital, will share with us his vision and experience on how new technologies can transform the agricultural ecosystem and lead to a sustainable food security revolution. Mr. Boujalde, the floor is yours. While Mr. Boujalde is connecting again, I still remind everybody that you can pose questions. We are collecting questions, and we will read the questions at the end of the seminar. Mr. Bujaude, we cannot hear you. You have to turn on your microphone. Okay, I will ask Ms. Nadine El-Khoury to speak now. The floor is yours, and Ravi Bujaude will speak after you. Thank you. Nadine, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. I wanted Rami to speak before, but it's okay, I can start. I will share my screen. I'm Nadine El-Khoury, COO of Robinson Agri. Give me 1 minute only. Are you seeing the first slide?
We are seeing your screen. Okay. We're seeing your desktop.
Oh no, it's not okay. So 1 second.
We can take this opportunity. There is one question for Mr. Swade. Okay, we'll go back to Nadine. Sorry about this. Perfect.
So hello, everyone. I'm Nadine El-Khoury, COO of Robinson Agri. I like always to start with this picture because it represents what is working in fruits and vegetables. You can see people always happy. You can see people always healthy. So it all started in 1971 when my father, Sami El-Khoury, started with the introduction of greenhouses in Lebanon. And Francesca, in fact, we started collaboration with La Certa de Bergamo, an Italian company. So we were pioneers to introduce the greenhouses in Lebanon, the galvanized iron greenhouses. Before it was all wood greenhouses. And with the increase in demand, we entered into joint venture with Mr. Spelgatti and launched Agrimec. So you can see that we have originated in Italy. At that time, we were the first to export greenhouses to the MENA region and to other countries in Africa. Unfortunately, Agrimec stopped in 1976 when the war started in Lebanon, but we kept our good relationship with them. So in 2001, my sister Rula, here in the picture was I, took over the family business with my father. We are currently contributing to the whole value chain and improving the agriculture sector, from supplying hybrid seeds to fertilizers to irrigations, and we are producing greenhouse polyethylene pipes for irrigation and grafted and normal seedlings. We always introduce to new technologies and which help us ensure a food secure future. We are always determined to make a difference. I can say that Robinson Agri is the only agriculture companies in Lebanon that follow the SDGs and that is committed to make our world better. And because we believe in collaboration, this is how we started. So in 2004, we start our partnership with a Dutch nursery. It's called the Grow Group. Now it's Planties. It's a nursery special in grafting of vegetables. So we started with 10,000 plants, and now we reach 10 million plants of grafted watermelon, tomatoes, eggplants, and melons. And of course, when you say grafted plants, we can say that it is resistant varieties, no more use of soil-borne pesticides, more production to the farmer, more homogeneous and healthier products for the end consumer. Also, if I can say that another story is born in 2014, it's a partnership with Elysée. It's a Cypriot company for the production of polyethylene pipes for irrigation and at the same time for potable water. and we are the only one in Lebanon with the third-party certificate. And in 2018, we were the founding member of COOT. I will pass a few slides of COOT because you already talked about IDAL and about the Ala Ali, but I would like also to talk about COOT because it is the first Lebanese agri-food innovation cluster in Lebanon and in the Middle East. So it was initiated by Beritech and with the support of the Dutch company, Dutch embassy, and in collaboration with the Food Valley. So COOT is the platform of the most innovative agri-food companies in Lebanon. We are 55 members till now. We are small, large, and medium enterprises, local and international. And at the same time, we are in partnership with the Knowledge Institute. And as Dr. Fadi said before, we are the platform of the new opportunities. COOT, at the same time, although it's a Lebanese cluster, we are the official partner of the online platform World Food Innovation, and we benefit from the Next Society Cluster Booster. And this year, we received the Bronze European Cluster Excellence. So we believe that we as COOT are the change makers of this industry. We are keen to collaborate together to have a more healthy and more sustainable food production by providing different kinds of services to our members, either by business innovation support, business support, matchmaking, visibility, and of course, as we are doing now, internationalization. So this is what makes COOT and Robinson Agri kind of following the same mission and vision. So the values of Robinson Agri are translated into our daily activities through innovation and distinction. And our challenges now, as already Mr. Swed mentioned, other than the economic crisis, the financial crisis, and the COVID crisis, we want to develop a vegetable and fruit crops for local and export market. Dr. Fadi mentioned that we are the platform of opportunities. So we want to create new opportunities for the MSEs and for the locals and to be able to export more. So to continue our journey, Robinson Agri introduced in 2015 the concept of hydroponic. It was in collaboration with the USAID. The project was named LWP, and of course in compliance with the SDGs. We worked on improving the value chain in Lebanon agriculture sector through this project. Our main goal was preserving the natural resources, although Lebanon is a high amount of water, but we need to preserve them. So with hydroponic, we can save 90% of water. Of course, to improve our food security and food safety, to reduce the environmental contamination, and to develop new technologies and systems. So this is where we introduced the hydroponic. Why we are here today? I want to thank you why we are here today, because we believe in collaboration. We believe in partnership since our start. And to guarantee a successful path from disruption, where we are all living now, to sustainability, we need to find new partners, especially in Italy. We want to export our greenhouse. We already export our greenhouse to different parts of African continent. But we are very happy today to be part of this webinar to expand our Italian originated greenhouse and to find new partners for our hydroponic turnkey projects. We already deal with different Italian companies for nets and for irrigation, but what we need now is to have a complete greenhouse turnkey for hydroponic. So I am here inviting all the interested companies to join us in this venture, to be part of our agriculture journey, because we know that Lebanon can be part of this. So I would like to thank you all for this opportunity, and especially the embassy. And I put on purpose this picture of olive trees because it is from my village. It is the oldest olive trees. It's one of the millennial olive trees in the world. And because we share as the same culture and the same heritage. So thank you, everyone. And I'm eager to receive contacts from our Italian companies who are interested to work with Robinson Agri or with COOT in general. So thank you, and waiting for January 26 for any opportunity.
Thank you, Madam Khoury, and thank you for presenting COOT and also for sharing with us your family business and for being so clear on what's the need of your company. And I think this is very encouraging for Italian companies to join us on the workshop on the 26th of January, and also for sharing with us the collaboration your company has with other companies that can be a good example of collaboration that can take place with the Italian companies. I see Mr. Boujalde connected, and the floor is yours, Rami.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me today. It's a great pleasure and an honor to be on this platform today, and looking forward for more collaboration with Italian stakeholders. So my name is Rami, and I'm the Deputy General Manager of Beritech, and today I'm going to share with you some of the activities related to the agri-food innovation that we are working on. Beritech has been in the field of supporting innovation and entrepreneurship in Lebanon since 18 years. In the last 3 years, we've been working heavily on linking innovation, science, technology, and engineering from Lebanon to be able to scale solutions around the globe. We're very proud to be hosting the first regional accelerator, the first accelerator in agri-food in Lebanon for the region. We also have the first agri-food innovation cluster that was launched at Beritech that Nadine has just talked about. But we're also working across the Mediterranean, and very proud to have Italian partners in most of our projects, where we're working on sustainable agriculture, precision agriculture, and the future agriculture, to be able to really work across the Mediterranean from Lebanon as well, to be able to provide and produce more food with less constraint on water and the use of energy. With that, I'll move to the next slide. So just a second, here we go. So what we have decided to do is to turn challenges into opportunities. As you know, we have a major concern in terms of global food security around the globe. This have surfaced heavily during the first months of COVID, where the disruption of the distribution channels was major. We also have a high population growth in the MENA. We have water salinity, land degradation in the region that are causing a lot of challenges. We have excess loss and waste of food along the value chain, where we have massive areas of improvement that needs to take place. We have political turmoil in the region. We do lose a lot of our youth that are highly educated that leave the country due to unemployment rates. And we have poor practices in agriculture that is leading to low productivity and lack of innovation in the sector. What we've decided to do is to work on our strong human capital that is excellent in science, technology, engineering, and math education. We have great engineers, computer scientists, and scientists that are available. We do have a strong diaspora, as was mentioned previously by the previous speakers. We have a thriving entrepreneurship ecosystem and private sector. We've seen more government interest in productive sectors from Lebanon. There are funding opportunities and potential of it. There is international expertise, and there is a big market that we can support and target from here. So we're working on multiple innovation sectors across multiple areas where we could introduce a lot of technology and engineering and science solutions across the value chain of agriculture. And we're working with that through the innovation hub that we're implementing in Beritech. So through that hub, we're using multiple tools to help those innovations start and scale. So we do promote and communicate a lot about the potential of innovations in the sector and where we could do that. We have many activities of outreach that we work with multiple players, from chambers of commerce to investment authorities to orders of engineers to universities to research institutes and so on, where we try to get innovators to channel their innovation through our programs to help them scale. We work a lot with universities to push more IP valorization to commercialization, especially in those sectors where we help those researchers really take their IP and move it into a commercial solution that could help the industry across the board. We do have a prototyping facility at Beritech, a fab lab that we help those entrepreneurs prototype and build their solutions from. We do have acceleration and incubation programs to help those startups start and scale, and we do provide them grants and matching grants depending on the programs and the funding that we receive through different partners we work with. We also work a lot on policy push and lobbying, so we're working on a number of activities to push more enabling environment for the innovation sector from Lebanon. We work a lot on internationalization, where we conduct trade missions, trade exchange, international exhibitions to be able to provide Lebanese SMEs and entrepreneurs access to new markets and scalability. We provide technical assistance for SMEs through our SME support program. We prepare them for investment readiness, and we facilitate investment potential, and definitely we work on clustering like KUT that was presented by Nadine earlier. So through our accelerator program, we work across the value chain, from the input companies all the way to the consumer, where we try to work with different companies on helping them, integrate, disrupt, and optimize the value chains accordingly. We worked a lot on trying to connecting the dots to solve challenges. So there has been a lot of disconnect between agriculture and technology and engineering sector. People did not talk to each other. The private sector was resistant to share information, but we've overcome this, and they are open and willing to share information. The public sector policy and relationship with innovation has not been clear and lacked resources, budgets, and there was a poor understanding of the sector's need in regards to digitization and innovation. The mechanism of financing the sector at all levels was a challenge. As we know, most of the agronomists, most of the farmers in Lebanon are unbanked and have limited access to loans and credits. And we did have a lack of structured pipeline in the universities that were affected by, challenges in orienting those students to work on challenges in the agriculture sector. How did we translate this into actions? So we started promoting partnerships with different NGOs to post challenges and opportunities. Actually, this week we're starting a hackathon with 25 live regional or global challenges that we're trying to solve with the support of the private sector, the public sector, and the different NGOs that we're working with in Lebanon. We're promoting spin-offs at the level of universities to be able to push for a company and in companies to be able to push for more innovation and open innovation concepts. We work a lot with universities on IP valorization through policy push and grants. And we're holding much more agri-food innovation and ideation camps to help promote the culture of innovation in that sector. So in order to be able to help those companies scale up, just a second, we work with them on bridging and scaling and accelerating and funding this ecosystem. I realize that I have a few slides that are missing in this one. Just give me a second to share the other ones. So, 1 second. So, For example, we're working a lot with these are some of the startups that we supported along the value chain. So we have, for example, Smart Gourmet and Mesmix that are working on optimizing Lebanese products, but they are working with Italian machineries to be able to produce their solutions. Smart Gourmet is working on ready-to-eat food with zero preservative and long shelf life, cooked under sous vide techniques, and cooking traditional foods while attaining a standard of recipe with great taste on every meal. And Mesmix is a startup working on developing a new way to consume garlic paste through a squeezable package that has a long shelf life and can be stored without refrigerations. These products are innovative in Lebanon, able to scale to the regions, and we've seen some of their products really reaching regional markets and potentially global. Regino, which is a startup that's working on the complete traceability platform that would serve the value chains across multiple industries. And with that, they are working with an Italian company to integrate their solution with farmer digitization solutions. So we could see that the Italians are always there as well. Now, in terms of product valorization, these are some of the innovative products that we are working with in Lebanon through our clusters. For example, we have Ham and Go, which is a new modern way to have authentic Lebanese hummus on the go with snacks and with hummus and sticks. The other one is Zeched, which has developed new flavors and aromas in their fine olive oil, and they're already exporting across the globe, including Japan, and they're producing a wide range of olive oil-based products. The Good Times has taken the whole concept of traditional za'atar in Lebanon to a whole new level with new products, new mixes, and innovation in everything that they do, including packaging and promotion, and Arifai nuts, which has transformed the product into high-end quality and innovative products that are reaching around the globe. So as Beritech and through our channels on the agri-food innovation, we believe that we could produce a lot of authentic Lebanese product that could be valorized and internationalized, and I'm sure we could benefit a lot from the collaboration with the Italians and across the board, from the innovation ecosystem in Italy to manufacturers, producers, and distributors, because we believe it makes perfect sense that Lebanon is a forerunner in the region, because we do have great entrepreneurship mindset, international orientation to our production, high level of education, and all this is backed by one of the more distinctive food cultures in the world. With that, I thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Boujoude. Thank you for introducing Beritech and the amazing work you've been doing and you're doing to change these challenges with innovative solutions in the entire agro-food value chain, and also to put this in a Mediterranean perspective, which is also important from the Italian point of view. Now I leave the floor to Ahmad Shukr. The floor is yours.
Mrs. Zadro, thank you. Thank you so much for this. And thank you for sponsoring such initiative. I'll go to my presentation. I hope my presentation can be seen properly on the screen. I represent obviously agro-ecosystems capital. I came to Lebanon. I wasn't raised in Lebanon, although I am Lebanese. I lived all my life in Europe, and apparently I came during this turmoil and this challenging situation. And we embarked on a major investment in Lebanon, hoping that we can set the standards and we can show, we can play like a role model to counterparts and to partners across the country and across the region, that Lebanon is worth going after. There are plenty of opportunities within the country. And yes, things could go well despite all the challenges. if we give it our all and we team up with the right partners. And in our situation, we teamed up with the best of Italian companies in order to make this a success story as a startup. So what is Agro? I'll start by introducing the company, and I'll take you through the different divisions and how we started and where we're heading. So the company is an agriculture development company, and we focus on food security strategies through scientific innovations. And what that means is that we focus on producing food out of season sustainably, predominantly. Okay, we do address the following problems, such as social impact of malnutrition, the ecosystem degradation, which is due to the bad practices of agriculture in the country, and the economic impact of poor quality produce, which is the waste resulted from agriculture predominantly, and uncompetitive practices into production. So we hope that we can tackle all these issues in formulating our vision, and hopefully we can tackle those as we go along and as we grow the company division by division. On the contrary, as we do adhere to the sustainable, to the SDGs, and most specifically to those following SDGs that you can see, the ending hunger, the good health, the water, energy, and development. Okay, so we defined the company. Now let us just go through quickly through the active divisions within the company that were created over this year. Mind you that the company is only 1 year old, and the company is already operating and performing well, despite the unprecedented challenges that the country has encountered over the past 12 or even more months. So our core divisions are the following. The first one is the controlled environment agriculture, and that is a hydroponics concept, but that focuses on organic production. So it combines the controlled environment agriculture, the microclimatic conditions with hydroponic systems for organic production. Now, so it's not just another agriculture facility, because not everybody can combine the three together for organic production. So we kickstarted with that, and touch wood, we successfully managed to conclude that, and that is currently in operation, and we'll speak about it in more details as we go along. Second division is a sheep breeding division, and that is very innovative, one of our most innovative divisions, because we go through genetic selection in order to produce out of season breeding. So we are able to produce meat all year round based on twins lambing every 8 months. So that is naturally done, but it is through genetic selection. So it is not through genetic modification, no, it is rather through genetic selection. We are able to produce meat through ram all year round. Our third division is we built a chicken layer farm, and that is a free-range egg production. It does have hatchery and it does produce parent stock. The fourth, which is still actually under development, is the broiler chicken for production of parent stock, the broilers, which are the chicken that goes to the slaughter, along with the slaughterhouse, processing and packaging facility. And the last division is our alternative energy that specializes in solar energy and in biogas. And why biogas? It's just to process all the manure and the waste from the agriculture, so we can create the full biodiversity and the full ecosystem of the agriculture sphere. So here and after, the focus will be on the first strategic business unit, as I mentioned previously, the controlled environment agriculture. And as I said, it's a perfect marriage between microclimatic environmental management with hydroponics system for year-round production, and mind you, it is organic production. The design is as follows, and we owe a big thank to all the Italian partners that teamed up with us to help us make a success out of this. This is the standard design, and the facility it has 5 of those. So you can notice that these are 3 spans, greenhouses. So we have 5 of those. Each is 1,000 square meters. And they are distinguished with the climatic condition management, as I mentioned. And you can see it does have the exhaust fans and the cooling pads, the heaters for heating at night and at winter time. Roof openings automated. We don't plant in soil, we plant in gutters, cocoa peat bags and all that. We can go through the process. It explains that in more details. Because it is an organic operation, so we are strictly bound to use certified organic seeds, and we use a very sophisticated irrigation and a fertigation, automated fertigation program, and that is an Italian company furnished us with that. We teamed up with them in order to get that concluded. We built our own nursery to control the supply chain as well. So the whole process is actually done in-house rather than going to third-party nurseries. We built our own nursery. So the operation kickstarts there, and then these are shifted into the greenhouses, which are fully controlled. And through the Italian technology, they are cooled at summer, they are heated in the winter to provide the optimum temperature. And then until we get to the harvesting. Even the sorting and the packaging facilities, we do owe the success of that to Italian technology. And these are some of the Italian partners that we worked with. Spaniol, for example, they provided us with the automated irrigation and fertigation systems. Daros, they provided us with the automated seeding machine for seeding inside the nurseries. Montes, they provided us with the heating and cooling systems. Pentax for the submersible water pumps here as well. Coltech and World Group, they provided us with the cold room systems, and we do work with the CCPB, which is the Organic Supervising Authority. These are some of the pictures of the facility. These are the greenhouses that were built. This is the inside of the greenhouses. Obviously, as I mentioned, the operation is eco-friendly, so it is empowered by solar energy. Some of my sheep. Some pictures from the nursery, and these are some of the tomatoes ripening. The seeds, we are exclusive agents for Dutch certified seeds, breeders, De Bolster. We do grow other seeds as well. We grow and we distribute some of the Fito seeds and the Montirosa. The premium product that we are producing inside our greenhouses are the following: mostly tomatoes, but we mix it with basil, kale, spinach, and wild rockets for the time being. Obviously, the cycles will change as we go along. These are some pictures of our tomatoes, different varieties. And that is our brand that we launched into the market as Beirut made by Agro Ecosystems. The final packaging, and then here you can see it sitting there on the shelves, being sold at premium supermarkets across the country. And the ongoing initiatives, and these are pretty innovative initiatives. we successfully managed to breed natural predators. Nobody in the country has ever managed to breed natural predators. Mostly companies are importing those natural predators for biological controls, which are the insects that eat pests inside the greenhouses. We managed to breed them at our facility, and now we are using them for biological controls, for organic practices. So this is one of our major initiatives that we worked on, we are still working on, and we want to expand extensively. And obviously we welcome anybody who could team up with us on such initiatives, and because it is pretty important for sustainable and for organic farming operations. As I mentioned, that we did develop our own nursery to cater for our facility. However, we are commercializing that nursery, and we want to expand that operation, and we want to build further a lot of seed trial stations. On the far right hand side, I can show some of the solar installations that we did ourselves, and we want to grow that division extensively, because it is pretty important for the sustainable world and specifically for the sustainable agriculture. And here I want to shift to how we are leveraging the technology into our operation. In order to conclude our vision, we must play a significant role into the smart agriculture. As a startup, we started by building the facility, and now we are perfecting that facility. So what is smart farming? As everybody knows, it's just providing the agriculture with the infrastructure to leverage big data and the cloud systems. So the way we explain that to people is that the plant just cannot communicate with, the plant can never communicate. It does feel pain, it does get thirsty, it does need food and all that. So to enable us to communicate with the plant and for the plant to communicate with us, we created that, hence the name, the Plant Communication Platform, to aid the plant with the senses and to give it the brain, which is the cloud, such that it will be able to communicate with us and for us to communicate with it automatically. And that is all done through sensing, measuring, interpreting, and automating. The connected agriculture market, it is reaching 4 billion. It will reach the 4 billion, growing at nearly 20% compounded annual growth rate. So everybody must catch the boat, and Lebanon should play a significant part there in order not to miss that boat. And we are filling a good gap in here, and we can show all the locals and any potential partners how we are doing it and how we can team up in order to grow together in that sphere. And the parameters that we capture through the sensors are the following. I don't want to go through the technicalities, but there are a long set of parameters or KPIs, key performance indicators, and that we capture, and I'll just demonstrate quickly. They are those sensors. They capture these KPIs. They collected through the gateway, submitted to the cloud, and interpreted to be given to the end users. And that could be provided as a service within our facility, and we can implement that to other farmers at other facilities. The process is just as I explained. It is the collection of the parameters through the sensors. They are aggregated by the gateways, stored into the clouds, and then it is the generation of MI reports. The automation is done M2M, machine to machine. However, currently we are building a very sophisticated algorithm in order to provide a very much detailed analysis and assessment of the condition of the farm and of the plant. to ensure that we manage and monitor. Here we go, these are the advantages. We manage and monitor all the deficiencies that could affect the farm and the plant itself. So monitoring the defined parameters will help in the efficient water management, automatic irrigation, optimal conditions, climatic conditions, plant health overall, the disease detection and management of pest invasions and preventions, most importantly. And again, I would highlight here that the pest invasions, we are treating them with biological controls. So that is strictly speaking through the natural predators that we are breeding. The overall advantages, again, it is improving the growing cycle, improving the quality and the economic environment outcomes. That's our team, the founding partners and myself, and I thank you all for.
Thank you, Mr. Shukr.
Thank you.
Thank you for presenting your project. It's an amazing project, and your vision on highly technological and sustainable agricultural development in Lebanon and its potentiality, and also it could serve as a great example of collaboration with Italian companies. Let's move now to the last session. We have in the last session will give us an overview of the local food industry needs. 3 Lebanese companies will present their experience as producers and exporters of food products. We will have Nicola Abu Faisal, chairman of the Lebanese Company for the Modern Food Industry, and will present his company's business experience in Lebanon and abroad. Mr. Ralph Nasrawi is the co-owner and export manager of Sonaco, and he will introduce us to his family business in Lebanon and abroad. And Mr. Youssef Arifai, co-owner and operations manager of Arifai Company, will share with us his vision on how Italian companies can cooperate with Lebanese companies and with Arifai. So, Mr. Abu Faisal, the floor is yours.
Yes, good afternoon. I will be quick with my speech to save time. Excellency Ambassador Bombardieri, Ambassador of Italy of Lebanon, and President Jmail, President Swede, and all friends. You know me, Nicolas Abu Faisal, CEO of Gardenia Grandeur. I will divide my speech 2 parts to speak about Gardenia Grandeur group of companies in Lebanon and Armenia. And the second part, my daughter, Mary Jo, will talk about Lebanese Association in the Bekaa Valley. We are part of Lebanese Association in Lebanon. Our factory, we are located in the Bekaa Valley. I will take out my presentation to keep time because it's time to talk about solution for our situation in Lebanon. I know we are supported by IDAL and Lebanese government and many friends. Our group of companies in Lebanon are supported by European Union. We have 6 factories in Lebanon, and we have also in Armenia agriculture company, and we are dealing with many nursery in Italy to import trees from Italy to Armenia, like castan trees and many kind of new kind of trees for Kuka's market. We are talking about Gardenia in Lebanon. We produce approximately 300 items, and we are dealing with many Lebanese distributors worldwide. We export from our region in Zahli to more than 600 Lebanese restaurants, Worldwide, we have ISO 22000 and ISO 22500 certificate. All raw materials are imported from Far East for spices and greens, and from Argentina, Mexico, and Canada. And we are dealing with many Lebanese farmers in the Bekaa Valley and supported by US aid. We have more than 40 farmers are supported by our company, and we buy directly from farmers. I will give my daughter Mary Jo to speak about our association in the Bekaa Valley. And by the way, it's time to invite Excellency Bombardieri and all Lebanese and Italian group to visit our factories in Zahli and to show them many Lebanese factories and what level of quality and capacity we are working. Thank you.
So good afternoon, everyone. As he explained, my name is Mary Jo. I'm a food engineer, and I'm delighted to meet you all through this webinar today. So I'm going to be giving you a brief overview about the Lebanese Association of Industries in the Bekaa Valley. So we have around 800 factories in the Bekaa Valley, which constitutes to around 65% of the total industries in Lebanon. And these industries cover all kinds of production, including spices, grains, cereals, dairy production, canned foods, and so on. So unfortunately, in the meantime, all companies in Lebanon and in the Bekaa region are facing some problems with export to countries outside of Lebanon. And this is because of some policies that are being implemented on companies by the ministries. Also, we know that Lebanon is going through a really hard time recently, whether because of the lira depreciation and the economical crisis, or whether it's the recent coronavirus outbreak. So all sectors have been really negatively impacted. However, in the food sector, the demand has actually increased for some products, such as Italian products, pasta, butter, cheese, all these kinds of stuff, because they were usually imported and now they are being replaced with some local production. On the other hand, we're also proud to announce the Lebanese-Italian joint venture company, which is owned by Mr. Joseph Malouf, and it's for the production of electrical products. It's actually located 500 meters away from our company, and we, as Gardenia and as the Association of Lebanese Industries, are actually very proud to support these kinds of businesses. So taking on from this one, we are happy to take and support any partnership from any Lebanese company interacting with Italian companies in order to accommodate for the production of these products in Lebanon and have a special Italian touch in them. So once again, thank you all for your attention. Thank you for this amazing webinar, and thank you for everything. I will leave you now.
Thank you for sharing with us the company's history, production, and the commercial relations with also with foreign countries and Italy, for highlighting the potentiality of the Bekaa Valley in terms of agriculture, and also to remind us the joint venture between the Italian company and the Lebanese company, Meta Lebanon, designed in Italy, produced in Lebanon, which is a case study that we always encourage both Italian and Lebanese companies to follow. We leave the floor now to Mr. Nasrawi. The floor is yours.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for organizing this webinar and giving us the opportunity to participate. Also, thank you to President Jmail and Mr. Saad for the great introduction. I will be giving a brief resume about our company. So Sonaco is a family business. It was established in 1975 by my father, George Nasrawi. We first started with two items, which were halewe and sesame paste, because of the demand during the war in Lebanon. 12 years later, in 1987, we started with the canned foods. It was just a couple of items. and we grew to all kinds of canned foods in 2015. Also, in 2007, we were the first company to get the ISO 22000 certification in Lebanon, and now we hold also the FSSC, which helps a lot for exports all over Europe and US. After that, we started doing the high-end products, which were ready-to-eat items in plastic trays, cans, and glass jars. In 2018, we did the rebranding for the company to keep up with the current trends all over. So we changed the labels, we changed a lot of things about how the company looks. We own 5 labels, which are ours, which is Al-Rabi', Lebanon Gardens, Hiba, Shtura Legend, and Basatin Shtura. Other than that, we do private labels for over 60 companies worldwide and over 20 companies in Lebanon. Our products were almost, until 3 to 4 years ago, around 100 products, and now we expanded to over 150 products with some new machines that we're getting mostly from Italy. The exhibitions we usually participate in worldwide, the 6 that we always participate in, are Gulf Food, Anuga, Cial, PLMA, and Fancy Food Show, which have 2 of them in New York and Chicago in the US. Sonaca has won a lot of awards internationally in the exhibitions. Now back to the company. The company is divided into 8 sections for 8 production lines. We have the grains, dried and canned. We have the pastes and dips. For example, hummus tahini, baba ghanoush, it's known worldwide. We have the ready-to-eat and pickled lines. We have waters, syrups, and juices. And we have a line that's sesame, which are the stones and the tanks and the filling. We have a line for the halawa, a line for the jams, which we do yearly, depending on the seasons. And we have the labeling and packaging. Since the start of the company, my dad wanted to export everything. He focused on exporting. So usually since the start, we had 85% of our production went for exports. Now it's down to 79% because the demand increased in Lebanon due to the situation and the lack of imports. Also, we export to around 46 countries worldwide, all the continents except for Antarctica, of course. And the most important thing is we're always investing in the company, and we could use a lot of help from Italian companies because usually it's the best machineries that we use for our kind of work. So thank you very much again.
Thank you, Mr. Nasrawi, for the presentation of your company and also for enlightening your production, also the private label, which is very common also in Italy and could be a very interesting ground of collaboration between Lebanese companies and Italian companies. Mr. Rifai, the floor is yours.
Hello, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I will be sharing my presentation. My name is Yusuf Rifai. I am the operation manager at Rifai. We specialize into all types of nuts, kernels, dried fruits, and coffee. Our business started in 1948 by my grandfather. My father then took over the business and started to develop this venture further by introducing packaging and new manufacturing techniques to further fuel our innovation. Today, we operate in more than 45 countries in multiple channels of retail, wholesale, and travel retail. Our manufacturing plants are certified to the latest in food standards across the world, from ISO, BRC, ISO 22005 for traceability, and AIB. Our factories are located in Lebanon and Kuwait. Over the years, we have tremendously worked on our marketing and branding by offering the essence of things that matters. Our values revolve around 4 pillars. We never forget our heritage and where we came from. We always push for the quality and variety to be the best, while servicing our customers and teaching them all about our products. Our stores offers a generous and experience and display. Our edge in the market is definitely our techniques. Dry roasting is our edge for many reasons. It helps us stay true to the nature of our products. We let the taste and aromas come to their most adequate balance. We do not add any artificial flavor, and we use all our flavors are natural. The result is fresh-looking nuts without fats and less calories. Most of our ovens have been developed and customized along with many Italian companies. So is every nut an RFI nut? Simply no, and I will explain why. It is the know-how of 70 years that guide us to finding the best crops from all over the world for their taste, flavor, size, and quality. Some of the factors that affects the nuts are location, climate, type of tree, soil quality, land management, knowledge of the farmers, and processing techniques. What makes us unique as well is, again, I would emphasize on our dry roasting method. All our products are MSG free. We only use the top grade of every type of nut, our unique flavors, and our unique packaging. As you can see, the couple of pictures, these are a couple of stores from our pictures from our stores in Lebanon. The highlight of the customer experience is definitely our nut counter, where humidity and temperature are controlled to guarantee maximum freshness for the customers. This is one of our example of our mixes. From left to right, you can basically, we're passed by cashews, pecan nuts, pistachios, hazelnuts, and almonds. This is another example of our sugary coated type of nuts, our famous Lebanese baklava, our assortment of nougat and marzipan, and some of our healthy mixes. Quickly passing over our pre-packed line, they vary, they have single items as well as mixes, and they vary from 450 grams to 15, 30, and 60 grams. Our relationship with Italy started in the early 80s. It has progressed on several fronts. In terms of manufacturing, we developed with a lot of Italian companies and purchased different roasting ovens. We developed many in different cleaning and storing solutions, conveying systems, material movement solutions, and vibrations to convey sensitive product from point A to B within the factory to minimize the breakage. In terms of packaging, we have jointly developed with many Italian companies different precision packaging machine specially fit for the nuts, as well as high-speed weighing solutions, and we purchased a lot of different kind of metal packaging material. In terms of sales and marketing, the RFI company ventured in the late 2000 into a new factory in Sweden, whereby we had access to a lot of Italian retailers. We ended up setting the company down the line, and we invested heavily in a new factory in Lebanon. We worked with different Italian companies as well to combine the traditional roasting that we have with the new technology in order to allow us to scale productivity and keep the same quality. This collaboration throughout the years allowed even different Italian companies to enter into different new markets, whether it's in India or any other country in the world with similar needs. So thank you everyone, and looking forward to meeting you in January.
Thank you also for highlighting the collaboration with Italian companies in the development of your company. I want to thank you all, the speakers, for participating and for the very interesting and thorough presentations. We are very late on our schedule, so we need to close now. I ask all the companies that post questions to send the questions to beirut@ice.it. I said in Italian, beirut@ice.it. And we will answer, we will convey the question to the speakers and we collect the answers. Grazie a tutte le aziende, le numerosissime aziende che ci hanno seguito in streaming. Ricordo l'appuntamento del 26 gennaio and the workshop on the 26th of January. I think it would be a great opportunity to meet you all, also virtually, but it's a first step. So let's say stay tuned, and let's wait to see you all again on the 26th of January. Thank you all again. Bye-bye.